With you, boy. You know what time it is, nigga.
Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas.
Yeah. I'm in you. Got my nigga Rawan with me.
But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Under commanding General Yana. Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my hock, I'm gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth, this shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood. I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For I take your life or let you take mine. That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complex. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey.
Dirty cop. He gonna hook it up. Come on, Nakawar, hook me up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Fuck around with you, boy.
John Dummy make the billion no go kill me.
Crooked officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, crooked cop badge number 2299. Crooked officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, crooked cop badge number 2299. It's wicked as hell. Arresting a man for nothing, got him sitting in jail. Look down on us, call us niggas when they niggas themselves. Supposed to show them the way, instead they show them a cell. Fuck nigga, how the fuck is you a man of the Lord? You pull up with white boys and you put niggas in the back of the car, but you wouldn't last a day in their yard with all them killers, them lions and them tigers and them bears and them gorillas. Tried to convince a nigga to snitch on his own brother. Beware the purple Israelite group, they undercover, so pussy ass nigga. Ratting that bitch, tell him take off that badge and I'll bat him in his shit. Crooked officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, crooked cop badge number 2299. Crooked officer, can you get these shot that tranny. The dick pic, the fake pictures on social media, posing as bitches. The murder on John Morgan, how her body came up missing. That scheming nigga cannot stealing that brother bitch. Them marching for the rich, but don't do nothing for the poor. The shit them niggas tried on the Kansas City boat. Them purple niggas tried that same bullshit before. Cap told them bitch Obama holding treatment like a hoe. Mashak told them they lightweight, they packed up all they shit. Fuck wrong with you, boy, we meant a war around this bitch. Undercover ass, purple badge, and needs to ass bitch. We know cowards on the men prepared to die around this bitch. You heard? Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, cricket cop badge number 2299. Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, cricket cop badge number 2299.
You broke off and created something. God deserves that we stand with him and walk forward. ISUBK, we strong. We ain't weak. No cowards, bitch.
That's right, sir.
Okay? That's how we ride.
Buck roll.
Send my bro a kite quick. Times of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see, most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes, there's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences, 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers, my hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. The king, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting Living on the spoil been my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the spoil been my whole life. My whole life.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my yes, you said Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I'm back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mass shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a
I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look.
City eyes. It's time to Bogart. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mop ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation faulty can fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. A fiend's taste sweet, told him make me an apple crisp. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Shall become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad, telling me how the crackers turned his childhood to a ghost town. Poke us out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tantrums. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Waldo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yaradar, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
From Westworld. Let's get it.
Gon' be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Skimmer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the beast loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pace, and you off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But there's power by war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow blow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we have, but we come from half nots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck. Burnt out I was from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, this the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They take their head off, nigga. I pray where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening, is in fact the If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I came to do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it Young Baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light work. It ain't about who got this gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Clap it up. All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Shah Barakathon to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal. It's down by Shemal Shah to the sister. All right. ISUPK Minnesota. This is the Wednesday class. All right. Better known as scripture and scripture breakdown and law class. All right. Today we're gonna get into a few different topics. Pretty much treated like popcorn style. There's so much things to talk about, so much current events. If anybody has been paying attention to the news, as of recently, within the past couple of weeks, a lot has happened. Okay, there's a lot to talk about. There's so much to go into. Otherwise, if anybody has any questions or concerns, you can type it in the chat. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay. Also, too, share the content, pay your tithes, and also, too, the Fire Weekend. The Midwest Fire Weekend is happening starting tomorrow, July 27th through the 30th. All right. You want to, if you are in the Midwest area, you want to come down, man. We are feeding Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and we are out here trying to get Black, Hispanic, Native Indian people back together. All right, on one accord, underneath, the Most High in Christ. being one body, one baptism, one spirit, one body. That's what we are about in ISUPK. And our mission is to take back the minds and the souls of the so-called lost 12 tribes of Israel. All right, which you're going to see scattered all throughout the earth, not just in America, but South, Central, all over the place, America, okay? All over the globe. So without further ado, does anybody have any questions? Do you have questions about anything at all?
Not yet.
All right, is there anything that you saw on the internet that may spark the question? Anything that you study in the scriptures? Something that you watched on TV or what? Like anything like that?
Maybe something in Deuteronomy by Esau. Stuff like that.
Okay, like what exactly is the question? So if you don't know the exact precept, don't worry about it. It would be nice if you have it, but if you don't, just try to paraphrase what you read. And, you know, a question.
You know how God destroyed the children of Eden, other people.
I want you to speak loud.
How the Most High destroyed the children of Eden in the book of Deuteronomy.
The children of Edom.
The children of Edom, Esau.
Esau, you said Edom, right?
Edom, yeah.
EDOM?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Want to make sure you said it right. All right, no sweat. So your question is, what exactly about that?
I think he completely destroyed all the children of Eden, or it was talking about another tribe that the children of Eden was messing with and sleeping with. How did they survive? Did they integrate and silk them other people and caught and kept and destroyed them?
Okay, so your question is how? Okay, all right, so is your question how did they get destroyed?
Yeah, the Most High. It said the Most High completely destroyed them, but I got to find the precept to be correct. But he was in the marriage with another people that was caged on, I think.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. All right, so if you can't find it, right, what we can always do is use your smartphone.
Right.
Are you sure that's the book?
Yeah, I see it's in the book of Deuteronomy.
Let me see some. Hold on. Okay, go to Deuteronomy, the 2nd chapter. That might be it, what you're speaking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I know exactly what this is talking about. All right, yeah. Go ahead and read it.
The first chapter or second chapter?
Second
first
chapter.
verse.
Yep.
Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 1.
All right. So now the brother's question is, right? How did did the Most High destroy the children of Esau? Or I'm sorry, the children of Edom, who is Esau. These are biblical names. So the nation of Edom is white people. What you would call today in 2023, white people. All right, or Europeans or Caucasians, so to speak. Esau was a white man. All right, he had a twin brother who was Jacob. Now Esau represents the white race. Jacob represents the black race. You know, the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian race, because Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, is the progenitor. The word progenitor means father of.
That's right.
So he's the father of the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians that are known today in America, in South and Central America as well, all over the earth, all right? So the brother question is, did the Most High destroy, or did they get destroyed, the children of Edom? Let's read. So this is Deuteronomy, the 2nd chapter. Read verse 1.
Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 1. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spoke unto me.
Spake.
As the Lord spake unto me.
Not spake. It's just it's the same thing as spoke. But I just want you to read what's right in front of you. All right.
Come.
Spake is the same thing as spoke. It's just old English. Go ahead.
And we compassed Mount Seir many days.
Right. As you know, who lived in Mount Seir was who?
The children of Esau.
Right. Esau lived in Mount Seir. all through history. Anytime that you look at history, that's what you always read about. Anytime you see Mount Seir, you know who lived there. You know, the majority of the time it's going to be the oppressor, who is Esau, the white race. Go ahead.
Verse 2, and the Lord spake unto me, saying, verse 3, ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward.
Now, so when it says, and the Lord spake unto me, saying, the Lord is speaking to Moses, all right? The very first 5 books in the Bible is the first 5 books of Moses, okay? So the Most High is speaking to Moses, because as you know, as we left out of where? Egypt, we walked into where? The wilderness. Because
that's right.
When you see verse 1, it mentions that we were in the wilderness. Okay, keep going.
Verse 4.
3, one more time.
Verse 3. Ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward.
Keep going.
And command thou the people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brother, the children of Esau.
You are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau. Now, understand that there was a time where, Jacob and Esau were brothers. They were blood brothers, but the Lord separated them. Okay, just like the Lord separated Ishmael and Isaac. Although Isaac and Ishmael were brothers, their father was who? Abraham. That's why you get Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham's the father. He had a son, which Abraham had 8 sons, right?
That's right.
Isaac being one of them. Then when Isaac had children, he had a son, and this son was who? Jacob and Esau. All right. So he had Jacob and Esau, right? But of course, Jacob represents, once again, the Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, because Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel, when he fought the angel back in the book of Genesis. Okay? Read it one more time.
And he commanded thou the people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brother, the children of Esau.
You always going to say brethren.
Brethren.
Now, although it means brother, that's not what it says. It doesn't say brother, it says brother.
Brother.
It means the same thing, okay? Unless that Bible is saying something different.
Brother.
Okay, no sweat. All right, go ahead.
The children of Esau were stored in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you.
And they shall be afraid of who?
And they shall be afraid of you.
You want to say they, that's they.
And they shall be afraid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Take ye good heed unto yourself, therefore.
Keep going. So now this is a warning. Verse 4 is giving out a warning. Although you're going to pass, you pass through this place long enough, you're going to pass through the children of Esau, which dwell in this place called Seir. And that they shall be afraid of you. And we shall see why. Keep going.
Verse 5, meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land.
What does it mean? What does the word meddle mean? So, what do you think that means when it says meddle not with them? It's old English, but what do you think it means? Meddle not with them.
Don't play in their affairs.
Raise your hand. Always raise your hand. Go ahead.
Do not play with their affairs or interact with them or just do.
Right. Like don't mess around with these people. Don't play around with these people. All right. Don't take them as a joke. All right. Keep going.
Not so much as a foot brief, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession.
Right. This is the place where the Most High have put these people. And Mount Seir, that was their place, their inhabitant. All right. Keep going.
Verse 6, you shall buy meat of them for money, that you may eat. And you shall also buy water of them for money, that you may drink.
All right, so you're gonna buy food and water. Okay, keep going. When you are in this place from them, keep going.
Verse 7. For the Lord thy God has blessed thee in all their work of their land. He knows they walking through this great wilderness. These 40 years, the Lord their God has been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing.
Lacked nothing. No sweat. Keep going.
Verse 8. And when we passed by from our brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, through the way of the plain from Elat.
No, it's Elah.
There
you go. No sweat.
And from Ebzon, Gabar.
No sweat.
We returned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab.
Right, keep going.
And the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle. For I will not give them of their land for a possession, because I have given Ar unto the children of Lot for possession. Verse 10. The Emit dwell therein in a time past, a people's great and many, tall as Anakim. Verse 11. This also was counted giants as Anakim. But the Moabite called them Edmit.
No sweat. Don't worry about it. You got it. Now I'm gonna have you read all the way to verse pretty much let's see. I want to say verse 22. Well, actually, matter of fact, just stop right there real quick. Let me see. Yeah, I just want to fast pace this real quick. Okay. Let me see something. Actually, yeah, I might skip you up some because pretty much it's going to keep running down all the people that we passed by, and I'm going to show you something. Okay.
Common concept.
Let's see. Let's go to verse 15. No, I'm sorry. Verse 14. Verse 14.
Verse 14. And the space in which we come from Kadesh Barnea, until we came over the brook.
Come
over the brook
of Zered.
Was 38 years, until all the generation of man of war was wasted out from among the host, as the Lord sware unto them.
Keep going.
Verse 15. For indeed the land of the Lord was against.
For indeed the hand.
For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them.
There you go.
To destroy them from among the host, until they was consumed.
Until they were consumed.
They were consumed.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this up real fast, right? So everything that we're reading as far as Deuteronomy, the second chapter, from verse 1 all the way down to verse 15 right now. I'm gonna jump to 22 in a second, but I just want to say this, right? So when you read this whole chapter, you see that the Most High says, "Do not meddle with them. Don't do this, don't do that, but do this and do that."
Right.
You notice that the Most High pretty much said, like, do not battle these people.
Right.
Do not go to war with these people, because in verse 15, he said that he pretty much consumed and destroyed them. Do you see that part?
Right.
In verse 15? The reason why the Most High said don't do nothing, because he got it. Like even now in America today, right? You don't have to fight a carnal war with your oppressor. When he shoots you down in the street, when he puts you on child support, when he puts you under the jail, you don't have to physically do anything to them. And really, there's nothing that you physically can do. Because when you try to be like the Black Panther movement and try to grab guns and think that you can fight their type of war, you're always going to lose. You want to know why? Because the Bible says that our warfare is what? Not carnal. Our weapons of warfare is not carnal. And the word carnal just simply means it's not physical. All right? It's not touch. You know what I mean? It's spiritual. Because when you serve the Most High, and to serve the Most High is to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. And what does that mean? To keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you have to observe it, you have to analyze, you have to obey, and fully understand what is being asked of you. When you hear thou shalt not kill, right? What does that mean? It sounds simple, don't it?
Common concept.
So what does it mean? Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not take another life. Thou shalt not kill. Murder or take a human being's life.
Okay. Give me another form of thou shalt not kill. Or better yet, killing.
You kill for envy, jealousy, just brother, you just.
Okay. Give me something that we see in America that definitely shows that something or someone is being killed.
Well, oppressors always kill, guns down, and shoot.
Okay.
We kill each other over drugs and money and stuff like that. Envy.
Give me something that's very popular among Black and Hispanic women when it comes to killing. That's very popular right now. Do you remember when a Black and Hispanic Native American woman recently just got mad and upset around last year, around this time, because the Supreme Court had ruled something?
I didn't hear nothing about it.
Okay, all right. Let me see. I'm trying to give it to you without giving it to you. What happens when a woman has a one-night stand with a man and she finds out that she's pregnant and she doesn't want to have that baby with that man? What happens?
She commit abortion.
And that's called what?
Thou shalt not kill.
There you go. That's it. So around last year, around this time, the Supreme overturned Roe versus Wade. Remember that?
I heard something about
Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade was simply the whole case about the whole abortion thing going on, because America is trying to, or America, certain states were having rules about whether you can and cannot have abortions in a certain city or place, and if you do decide to have abortion in this place, you're going to be judged and punished by it. Go ahead.
I think I read something about that years ago that this oppressed woman lied that somebody raped her. She got pregnant, and she didn't want to have her. You're supposed to legalize child support because of that.
Yes, that's Roe versus Wade.
Okay, calm.
Yeah. And also too, anytime you see something that says so like for example, right? I believe Roe versus Wade. These are actual names, by the way. So it's like saying Kawanya Allah versus St. Paul. It's a whole court thing. All right. Let me see. Because Roe, I believe I think it's Jane Roe. I forget a lady's name. Let me see. So pretty much it was a lady, right? It was a lady that made up a story, said that she had got assaulted sexually, right? She had got assaulted sexually by a Black man And she went on this whole thing about making it legal, or there should be no issue with getting rid of this baby. Now the whole story is very crazy because it was just all a fabricated lie. The whole point is women do not want to take accountability for their actions. Let me ask you this, right? I want to ask you this question now. When it comes to sex, what should always be in your mind? Because where do babies come from?
From our seed.
Oh, okay, but how are babies conceived?
It could be our seed in a woman. It's born some kind of way.
And that's called what?
Sex.
Sex, right. So anytime you think about sex, right, you should know before you lay down with somebody that what comes with sex. What comes with sex is a possibility of a what?
A baby.
A baby. There you go. You know what I mean? So, and also too, this lets you know that you just can't lay around with anybody. Right? That's why the Most High said, the Most High has guidelines and rules and structures and protocols to let you know not to just sleep around with everybody and just anybody. Before you decide to lay down with somebody, ask yourself this question. Can I see myself spending the rest of my life with this person? And also to having children with this person. You got to be very careful out here.
That's right.
Because when you treat sex recklessly like a child, and you don't take no responsibility, understand that there's responsibility to it, and you treat it recklessly, you end up with a woman who wants to commit genocide on that seed that's inside of her. Now, on one hand, she thinks, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, it's it's not a human yet. There's no heartbeat yet. When that is a living being inside of you. And then on the other hand, people believe that this is a human being inside of you. But the fact that once that sperm touches and fertilizes that egg, it is a human being.
That's right.
End of story. All right. So the purpose of me saying all of this is to say that the Most High had told Moses and them, do not meddle with these people. Y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. Do as I say, and blah blah blah. Once Moses listens to what the Lord has said, the Most High destroyed those that they passed by. It's no different than Passover. Passover, Moses had orders to tell the children of Israel, you do this and you do that on this day. And when this day comes, these people are going to be destroyed, but not you. And that's what's happening. But read verse 15 one more time.
Verse 15. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from among the hosts until they were consumed.
You want to say they.
They.
Until
they was consumed.
No, it's like until they were consumed.
Until they were consumed.
There you go. All right. Consumed. Yeah, just consume. That's it. You got it. No sweat. Keep going.
Verse 16. So it come to pass.
Came.
So when it came to pass, when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people.
Keep going.
Verse 17. That the Lord spake unto me, saying, verse 18, thou art to pass over through earth, the coast of Moab, this day. And when thou comes near over against,
it's like when thou comest nigh. You see that NIGH?
And when thou comest nigh, near over against the children of Ammon, distress them not.
Now Ammon is going to be the Japanese. Moab is the Chinese. All right. You got it. Distress them not.
No matter with them. For I will not give thee of the land of the children of Ammon, any possession, because I have given it unto the children of Lot for a possession. Verse 20. That also was counted as a land of giants. Giants dwelt therein old time.
Now, when it says giants in the Bible, giant simply is just someone who is popular, who is big. Now, the Christian church will have you believe that giants is talking about someone who is, 1,000 feet tall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think of a giant as someone who's very tall,
Right.
or someone who's very big in popularity,
Right.
who's famous. All right, like for example, we say, like till this day in 2023, right, in modern times, we call people giants all the time. Now, it's not always just talking about someone's height, it's just talking about their work, their resume, all the great things that they have done. You know what I mean? Like, for example, another word that we use today is somebody that's very famous, someone who's doing very well in Hollywood. We call them the GOAT. The word GOAT simply it's an abbreviation that stands for greatest of all times. You know what I mean? Like, for example, your favorite actors. A lot of people love Denzel Washington because his work ethic as far as acting is very great, which I agree. Denzel Washington is one of the greats. You know what I mean? A lot of people call him a giant because he's been around for so many years with the acting. Who else? Let's talk about basketball. Who is somebody that a lot of people talk about in basketball? LeBron James. He's very famous. They call him the GOAT as well. They call him a giant because of just all his work that he has done since he was a child to now. Because LeBron James is what, like in his 40s by now?
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's Now, of course, in the ISUPK, we call each other giants as well. Commander Jerry Harner, all the generals, Captain Mawafai, Captain Cesaria, Captain Kataza, like just all these well-known, just these well-known men who are doing amazing work and who have been doing it for such a long time.
That's right.
Those are giants, all right? And that's like the Bible is slang. It's nothing else but slang, figurative language, allegories, metaphors, figurative language, okay? Keep going. You had a question, Salah?
No, sir.
Oh, no, okay, you got it. Go ahead.
And the Ammonites called them Zebulun.
Keep going.
21. A people great and many and tall as Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them before them.
There you go. See, like also too, that's more proof. Like, although they was big, they was popular, they was famous, the Most High destroyed them. He brought them down to the ground. All right. It's the same thing when the Bible speaks about Pharaoh, how the Most High raised up Pharaoh, and even that word to raise somebody up, right? The word raise or rise, right? It means it's going up and up and up. It also too, it's like when you raise somebody up to a certain rank, they just get bigger and bigger in authority. Even that analogy, it's the same thing. Now, even when the Lord had raised up Pharaoh to be all powerful and glorious as he was, what did the Most High do at the end with Pharaoh? Can you explain?
Destroyed.
Yeah. So once the Most High build up Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh was the king of Egypt,
right?
African. What happened to Pharaoh at the end? What did the Most High do to Pharaoh at the end? What's the key word right now that's in this chapter? It's right there. We just read it. What is the key word?
Destroyed.
Yes, that's it. The Most High destroyed Pharaoh, just like the Most High destroyed all these other heathens, all these other people that are not our people. Keep going.
21. A people great and many and tall.
And now, as you see, it says great. That's one word. Many, number two. The third, tall. It's giving you characteristics. These are characteristics. This is not a physical thing. All right? These are characteristics. Keep going.
After Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them before them.
There you go. Keep going.
And they succeeded them.
Mm-hmm.
And third in their steed.
No. And the wealth in their stead.
And third in their state.
Right, stead. Yeah. All right. In their stead is a place of where they was at. So it's like when you dwell in someone's stead, that means that you're dwelling in someone else's place. Like you move into somebody else's house versus that being their house. Keep going.
Verse 22.
Yeah, last verse.
As he did unto the children of Esau, which dwelled in Seir, when he destroyed the Horeb from before them, and they succeeded them, and third in their steeds, stead even unto this day.
Mm-hmm. All right. You probably are saying it right, Steve. Yeah, I'll let you have that one, Steve, even until this day. All right. So just to answer your question, right? The reason why we read from the top close to to the middle half of the chapter is to get you some background information. So now, is it speaking about was the children of Esau completely destroyed? No. It's just saying that those people that were there at that time, they had got destroyed. Now, when it says that if people get destroyed, it doesn't always mean necessarily that they are completely wiped off the face of the earth.
Right.
It just means that they are destroyed to a point where they cannot build themselves back up in power and rulership. Like, for example, right, there was a time where the children of Israel were at the top.
That's right.
That we were in the seat of where our oppressor is right now, ruling the earth. We ruled the earth before. The history of the Israelites don't start with slavery. If you ever hear that someone has lied to you, they are lying to you. Your slavery, your history does not start with slavery. You wasn't born into slavery and then you end in slavery. That's not your history. Now, however, there's always been, everybody has played a part of being at the top and being at the bottom. Right now, we are at the bottom as so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. That's why you see us in this hellish condition. To be shot down in the street, that's hell. That's not heaven.
Right.
The fact that you've been on child support for a child that has not came from your loins, that's hell. The fact that you have to work 5 to 6 different jobs just to pay rent, just to survive and keep your head above water, that is hell. The fact that you are underneath the jail and you're getting paid pennies inside the jail or the prison. Like, come on, man, like that is hell. But there will be a time where Black, Hispanic, Native Indians will be at the top again. And when we get to that top, we will always be there for eternity, forever. We will not have to revisit these curses again, which is being under our oppressor. This is a curse.
That's right.
They are tyrants. They are unruly. They abuse their power and authority. Meanwhile, when we were in rulership, we were fair. We had a conscience. We had a soul when it came to governing this place called the earth. And we did a better job than what they are doing right now.
That's right.
Give me Proverbs 29:2. We might as well jump into that. But did that answer your question, or did you have more that you want to speak on? All right, no sweat. Yeah, Proverbs 29:2 is what I want.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, the people what?
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Now, right now in America, there is no rejoicing for
That's right.
so-called Black and Hispanic Native Indians. Now, It's not bad for every single body. It's just bad for a particular type of people, a nation of people. And that's going to be God's chosen people. The real Jews, not the Jewish, but the real Jews.
That's right.
The ones that are oppressed in America today. The so-called Jewish man, he's not oppressed. He's not oppressed at all. He is living a lavish, beautiful, delicious life. The Jewish owns everything. The two people that you cannot talk about without being persecuted or judged in any type of way is the Jewish and the ABC community. If you know what I'm talking about. The ABC community, the LGBT community. You know what I mean? If you talk about them or the Jewish, who is our oppressor, that community, I mean, man, everybody is going to be at your head. They are going to try to crucify you like they did Christ.
Right.
And that's what's happening, man. Like, I mean, it's the same thing that happened to Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens is the one who is the inspiration of the ISUPK. All right, those black Muslims, man, they killed our brother because he spoke the truth in New York, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Why do you think the ISUPK sets up shop in Harlem, New York, 125th? We do it because that's where, we picked up what was left off. When they murdered and assassinated Abba Bivens, we picked up that torch and we continued the tradition. Even if it means that we had to be murdered just like Abba Bivens. No one's scared, man. Because every time you go to camp, you could possibly lose your life because you're speaking the truth.
That's right.
Like what happened to John? What happened to John when he had called out that woman about adultery? His head got cut off. That woman knew she was wrong, and she was so upset and mad about it that she had John's head cut off his body. Like this truth can get you killed, get you murdered, but it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to die behind. You wanna know why? Because this is what's helping your people. Ask yourself this question. Would you want to die behind a blunt, a cigarette, cocaine, a bottle, a woman? I mean, especially a woman who sleeps with everybody except for her true man, which was you at one point in time. Are you going to die behind all the foolishness, or are you going to die for the Most High in Christ? Are you going to die behind the things that is keeping Black and Hispanic people alive? Because these laws, statutes, commandments is what's saving us.
That's right.
If you endure until when Christ comes back, and that's the end. Because when Christ comes back, it's going to be all over, all the oppression, all the black on black crime, all the other nations stealing from you out of your own communities.
That's right.
All the evil that goes on in this place. It's going to stop. Read it one more time, Baba Chuck.
Salakia. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. There's nobody rejoicing right now. I mean, especially with COVID-19. Nobody was rejoicing. Like, it was so bad that, our oppressor was just panicking. They was panicking. And also, too, they were just so, how can I say it? Like our oppressor was just so disgusting about taking care of this place. Take care of the people of this place. Like America is so damn rich that they can literally end homelessness. How is America one of the most richest countries on the face of the earth and they can't cure homelessness?
Right.
It's a viral picture that's on social media that I see almost every year where in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, which is very rich, by the way, there was a man sleeping outside with a cover on the concrete right next to people eating outside at a restaurant, a well-known restaurant. And someone took a picture of this homeless man laying down on the ground right next to this restaurant with a cover. And Los Angeles is very rich. Right. Like, you really have to have money to be out there. But it lets you know that our oppressor is operating this place in a way that is unrighteous, that is very evil and wicked. Okay?
That's right.
But keep going.
But when the wicked Baal rule, the people moan.
Right. Almost every day, when you turn on the TV, when you walk outside your door, when you look on your phone, social media, you look at the news, what do you see? People mourning. Why? Because of all the plagues, all the constant violence, all the constant, strife and envy and murder that's going on. All right? I mean, since COVID-19, right? Since 2019, it just seems like back to back, the earth has been attacked all over. I mean, there's going to be a new plague that's going to happen. Right after COVID-19, what happened? Monkeypox.
Monkeypox.
The ABC community got hit with another plague. Back then it was HIV and AIDS, right?
Right.
They called that a back then they had a I think back then they called it the gay plague. You know what I mean? I want to say back then they called it the gay plague, where they didn't even have a name for HIV at one point in time, and AIDS, because it was just out of nowhere. It was happening so fast. It was an epidemic of AIDS and HIV because of the homosexuality that was running rampant in the earth. That lets you know, man, anytime something bad happens to a people, a plague comes, a famine, a pestilence, it can all be avoided with the laws, statutes, commandments that's in the Bible. It can all be avoided. And how do you know? Because when you read the first 5 books of Moses, right? The very first 5 books in the Bible, you will see all the plagues and famine and pestilence that were happening at that time and why it was happening. Why did the Egyptians get punished by the Most High?
Because they were oppressing the children of Israel.
There you go. There you go. That's what happened. Like back in 2016, right? When the brother Philando Castile got shot 4 times in Minnesota in St. Paul. When that brother got shot and murdered, I believe a day after or a day before, the brother in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, his name was Alton Sterling. When that brother got shot execution style by the police, got murdered execution style by the police, right? What happened right after that in Baton Rouge? The Lord flooded Baton Rouge. But what he flooded was the area where it was predominantly white. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Because there ain't such thing as a coincidence. Everything has its purpose and reason.
That's right.
And if you know the Most High, you know that He does everything with a purpose and a reason. The Most High, when He strikes, good night. You better be on His side and not on the other side.
That's right.
All right. Any more questions?
Not yes, sir.
All right. No sir. Let's see. What else should we get into, Kawan? So much to talk about.
I'll think about in the book of Deuteronomy about the blessings and the curses.
Let's get it. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 27th chapter. So, do you have questions about it, or do you want to just go over it?
I think you should just go over it.
No sweat. All right, no sweat out. Sounds good. I agree. Let's get into Deuteronomy, the 27th chapter for a little bit. And also, too, I think that's on topic.
Thank you, sir.
No sweat. The water to you. All right, you got it. And also, too, if you want to elaborate or put in any 2 cents that you may have about it, go ahead.
Come, sir.
All right, you got to go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses with all Salaki, and Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
Now, and it says, and Moses with the elders of Israel, right? So Moses is with the elders of Israel. Now, when you see the word elder, think about elder as a man who is in high status. So I'll just give you a plain example. So now we don't say this in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, right? Because the word elder is so much association is like with Christianity. Just like we don't say bishop, we don't say apostle, we don't say certain like deacon, we don't say certain words like that because of the association with the Christian church and just people in the world, right? Now the elder would be considered like someone who's like a general, someone who is at high status, who has high authority. All right, the elders of Israel. You know what I mean? Think of who's the highest? What's the highest rank in the military? Is it a sergeant?
I think so. I don't know.
Is it? Hold on, let me see.
Sergeant, lieutenant.
Is it lieutenant? I forget. Hold on. Let me see. In the military. Let me see. It's lucky. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, yeah. So a general. So there you go, right? So just think about a general as an elder. Okay. So Moses is with the elders of Israel, right? Commanded the people. Now, what does the word command mean?
Command, something you must do.
So a command is a order. You know what I mean? Like if someone tells you to do something, that's an order. That's a command. I command you to do this. So it's right there. That one little sentence, right? Hey, I command you to do this. I command you to take out the trash. I command you to go overseas. That's you giving a order to somebody. You are directing them to do something. All right. So a command is an order. Keep going. I commanded the people.
Keep all the commandments.
Saying.
Keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
And this is how you know it's an order, because it says, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. So when you command somebody to do something, you are giving them an order. All right. So all the commandments. Now that's the key word, all, not some, all. Because there are people on the earth who are going to tell you that you don't have to worry about keeping all the laws. You just got to keep, the 10 Commandments. Never ever say 10 Commandments because it's Christianity. There are not 10 Commandments. There are more than that. Now, some would say that there's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, but we are just going to say there's over 600 laws. Now, with that being said, right, there are laws about, there are laws that you really don't have to worry about. Now, I don't want to sound contradicting, right? Because you are supposed to keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments. But there are laws that you really don't have to think about so much.
Right.
Because there are laws that are about farming.
Right.
There are laws about business. There are laws, statutes, and commandments about this, that, and the third. What you want to focus on is the ones that we are facing with today in society, because everybody's not a farmer. Everybody is not dealing with business. Everybody is not dealing with, there's so many laws, statutes, commandments that talk about so many things. But when it comes to the basic things that we see in life right now, you want to focus on don't eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. That's simple enough to understand, right?
Right.
Because that's what, like, we live in a society where you literally have to worry about that every single day, because that can affect your health. It can affect a lot of things. But the Most High, said not to do it. And now your question is, a lot of people's question is this: why we can't eat crab, shrimp, and lobster? Why can't we smoke? Why can't we do this and that and the third? Don't worry about it. Just do what the man said, what the Most High said to do.
That's right.
Just follow the order.
That's right.
And when you go against that, you're going to find out why the Most High said not to do it. Because ultimately, when the Most High tells you not to do something, there's a reason behind it. Like how the Most High told Adam and Eve, do not eat of what?
The fruit of knowledge of good and evil.
There you go. And once they disobeyed the Most High, they learned other cultures.
Right.
They learned other ideologies.
Right.
And that was the problem. And because of that, we're here today. We're serving Christianity. We're serving Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, whatever. That's the problem. When you go against what the Most High tells you to do, all hell breaks loose. You just open up a pathway of wickedness, of something that we should never have been introduced to in the first place. So when the Bible says, keep all the commandments in which I command you this day, my best advice to you is to listen.
That's right.
And that also too, to listen, to hearken, is another thing that you have to do. Which all of this is in the Bible. Just keep going through this. You got it.
Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be on the day when you shall pass over the Jordan unto a land which the Lord thy God gave thee, that thou shalt set thee up a great stones and plaster them with plaster.
Keep going.
Verse 3. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which the Lord thy God gave thee, a land that flows with milk and honey, as the land, Salaki, as the Lord God of thy father has promised thee.
Right. So yeah. So now when it's okay, now this is a very famous scripture as well. When it talks about the Lord, the Most High, will give us a land filled with milk and honey. Now do not be carnal. What is milk and honey? Is it actual milk and honey?
No.
What is it talking about?
The land gonna be rich, I guess, with livestock, fruits, and all that. Other things, herbs and things. The land is gonna be rich.
That's right. That's right. That's right. A land filled with milk and honey is speaking about resources. It's speaking about how this land is going to be filled with everything that you need. Because there are lands that are not filled with milk and honey. Ask the Native Indians. All right. Ask the Haitians. Ask all the brothers and sisters. Better yet, ask yourself, where do you live? I mean, if you look around in the Twin Cities, man, there are some houses that are run down, that are abandoned. That are not in good condition. If you blow on the house, it's going to fall apart. That's how destroyed. Our communities don't look so much like communities.
That's right.
What do they call those war zones? Where a place, it's a name for where a place used to be built and built up and pretty and beautiful, but then once bombs so drop on it, it's all like desolate. It's a certain name that they have that they call it. I'm gonna say it looks like a war zone. A lot of the places that we live, man, the places that we are living in these crappy apartments,
that's right,
houses. You go outside, you ain't got green grass. You just got dirt.
Right.
That place is not milk or honey. But we used to have a place in Jerusalem where it was filled with milk and honey, man. It was beautiful. But it all got wiped away and taken away from us. Why is that? Because we decided to break our covenant with the Most High. That's what happened. The reason why we are paying rent, that is, we are paying expensive rent for something that is, just garbage. We paying car notes, we paying for all these things, and we are barely making it because we decided to go against the Lord.
That's right.
Don't you know that, in certain places around the world, there ain't such thing as rent? If you just build your own house in your own place, you ain't got to pay for nothing.
That's right.
The city provides all the electricity, all the water, all the resources. You ain't got to worry about a grocery store when you have land of your own.
That's right.
Around about you, around your your homeland, your acres. You ain't got to worry about that. I mean, that's why living in the country has its benefits. It's beautiful. Go ahead.
I don't understand what you be saying. Feed the poor and need the child and Hamites and all them doggone animals you got. What you be starving over? It don't make no sense.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make any sense. So let's start right there. Let's get let's get Deuteronomy 28:1.
28:1?
Yeah. I want to talk more about the curses.
Yeah, come.
So all right, so Deuteronomy 27:1 all the way to 3, right? The Most High promised us a land that's going to flow with milk and honey. And we had that at one point in time, and we can still have it again. In order to get that back, because we don't have it right now, in order to get that back, we have to keep all the law, statutes, and commandments. We have to follow everything detail by detail, what the Lord told us that we had to do from the beginning. We have to go back to the beginning. There's nothing new to be done today. We have to do what was told of us and asked of us before time. The time of Moses, Christ, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Nehemiah, Hosea. We have to go back to what they did in that time, which was serve the Lord. I mean, once we go back to the root of that, we can get our kingdom back.
That's
we
right.
can get our land back. We can be a nation again and not separated. Because right now, the nation of Israel is very lost and scattered. We don't look like a nation. That's why the other nations, the other heathens and ethnicity and races of people, they look at us as a joke because they see that we are not together as a people. That's why they are able to get away with all the things that they do against us. Meanwhile, no one is there to your rescue.
That's right.
No one is there as your deliverer. That's why you are in the condition, in the place that you are in right now. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Above all nations of the earth. Damn right. Now, let me backtrack it real quick. So it says, and it shall come to pass. What does the word come to, what does come to pass mean?
Come to pass.
And it shall come to pass. What does that mean? Don't think too hard. It's right there.
Okay. I guess and it shall come to pass that thou be hearkened diligently with the Lord thy God. It will come to pass if thee hearken and listen to the word of the Lord thy God.
No. One second. Just let's take it slow. Just what does come to pass mean?
Come to pass be something passed through the years, I guess generations come to pass.
No. You say you're very close, but you're thinking too deep. Okay. What does the word shall mean? If somebody said, okay, I'll just kind of give it to. I'm gonna give you a hint, right?
Okay.
Okay. Just think about. Just listen to my words. Of what I'm saying. If I tip this over, the water shall fall. What am I saying? If I tip this over, right? The water shall fall. What am I saying? So if I tip this over, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna fall.
So this water, if I tip it over, the water shall fall. So what am I saying initially?
That shall come to pass.
Come to pass meaning what? I like that. I like that you said that.
That it been done.
It will happen.
It will happen.
There you go. You know what I mean? So if I knock it over, initially it's gonna what? It's gonna fall, right?
Right.
So it's going to happen.
Right.
So it shall come to pass. Come to pass simply mean that something's going to happen.
Right.
So, and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken. Now it's saying if. Now there's that if. It's saying if you do, right? Because the word if is implying like if you do this. If thou shalt hearken. Now the key word hearken is what? Listen.
Listen.
All right. Listen or heard. Listen, and how you said it in Hebrew is Shema. Shema. Yep. So the sh and the ma and the I. Shema. Yep. Shema. So the sh, the ma, and the I. If thou shalt hearken diligently. What does the word diligent mean?
I guess to seek deeply.
To seek deeply, so that would be like zeal. You know, to have zeal. You feel me? So that's perfect. If thou shalt hearken, meaning listen diligently, meaning that you are 10 toes, like you are going all the way. You are really trying to listen to this whole thing. So if I gave you a presentation on thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, lie or covet, you want to listen to this whole thing. If I gave you a whole 5-minute presentation, you wanna really listen. You want to see the whole full breakdown. When it comes to the law, statutes, commandments, you have to understand the spirit of it in order to know how to keep it. Like, for example, right? If somebody told you, I want you to work the cashier, right? And you don't have no knowledge of working the cashier at all, you won't know how to do it.
Right.
But if somebody teach you how to do it, and you get the whole vibe and the whole idea of how to work a cash register, you're going to know how to do it like a second nature. So when it comes to the law, statutes, commandments, a lot of people's problem outside of the UPK, they hear thou shalt not kill,
right,
but they don't take it, they don't really understand what that means. You know what I mean? They don't really understand the spirit of that. In order to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you really just have to understand the spirit of it.
That's right.
Okay. Also, too, let me see something else. Thou shalt not covet. What does the word covet mean? By definition.
Oh, covet something somebody got.
No. That's more of an action. What is okay? Yes and no. Okay. What does covet mean? Just one word. Give me a one-word definition. What does covet mean? Just one word. Just give me one word.
A covenant.
No, not covenant. Covet. Yeah, covenant is a different word.
How you spell it?
Covet is C-O-V-E-T. C-O-V-E-T. So covet. What does covet mean? Thou shalt not covet. What does covet mean?
Covet their neighbor wife or covet their...
Oh, okay, you are giving me examples. What does covet mean?
I ain't know, look up the definition. So.
Oh, it's very simple. If someone tells you thou shalt not covet, what does that mean to you then?
I shouldn't not covet anything or anybody else got.
Okay. You keep using the word covet, but what's another word that you can replace covet? Don't do what to people's stuff?
Steal.
There you go. So covet means what?
Steal.
Yeah, do not steal. All right, do not take.
Right.
Okay, do not take anything or put your hands on anything that is not yours. All right. Worry about your own and only your own, and get your own. By the way, if you want those new shoes, if you want money, if you want women, get your own. All right, that's all you have to do. Now, people will have brotherhood and share. And even when they share, do not take from them. Okay? Like to covet, covet can be used for a lot of things. When a man sleeps with somebody else's woman, that's coveting. Because you took somebody else's possession. Am I right?
Right.
Because that's their what? A man, okay, if a man has a wife, that man's woman is his what? Possession. Possession or property. That's his.
Right.
All right. Because you got a lot of men and women that say, look, that's my man, that's my woman. That mine, when you say mine, that's saying that's my possession. You hear kids say it all the time with toys. Mine, that's my toy. That's my toy. That's their possession. Don't touch it. All right. Like, once again, if you get the spirit of the law, statutes, and commandments, you should have no problem abiding by it.
That's right.
Unless you just want to be evil and not keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Read it from the top one more time, Brother Sean.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Just wait.
Yeah, come.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now, also too, the Bible says in Revelations 13 and 10, if a man has an ear, let him hear. Now, it's not saying that you don't have ears. It's just saying if you have the ear, let him hear. It's saying if you have understanding. Also too, a lot of people can just hear these scriptures, right? But they can go on one ear and out the other. You hear, thou shalt not kill. Oh yeah, that's right. God, thou shalt not kill. But then tomorrow you are going to have beef with somebody and blow their head off. But what happened to yesterday when you heard, thou shalt not kill? Go ahead.
Okay, you said precept in the book of Matthew, the stony work, that they hear the word, but some was in I forgot the precept.
Oh, okay, try to paraphrase it one more time.
You know, when in that precept in the book of Matthew, it made them parables about the rock and the soft sword, that some hear the word, but the devil come and snatch it away, all that.
Okay, I think you're talking about two precepts, but I do understand what you're saying.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, so what the brother is saying throughout the Bible, there's a lot of scriptures that's going to speak about how people will hear the words of the Lord, but not everybody will actually hear. So there are going to be people in front of you. There are going to be people that's going to watch your videos, that's going to listen to you at camp, but they're really not listening and hearing you. You know what I mean? Like, you can be talking until you're blue and purple in the face, and people are still not going to understand what you're saying. And you can be speaking in their same language. And sometimes, and the reason why that happens is because the Lord don't want them to hear. Now, everybody's not going to receive what you have. The fact that you understand the Bible, you understand these breakdowns, you understand these classes, is because the Lord allowed you to understand that. And that's also in the Bible as well. You know what I mean? This is not given to everybody. That's why Paul said, I wish myself to be a curse for Christ. Like Paul said that he, like in a nutshell, Paul wanted everybody else to have this truth.
Right.
Just like he has it. Because he sees what's going on with his people. Now, understand the story behind Paul. Paul was a wicked man before he came into the truth.
Right.
Who deserved and was worthy of death. But the Most High showed him a way, a new way of life, which was serving him and raising up his people, which he was under Christ, who did an amazing job, who raised up the seven candlesticks, which is the seven schools, or the seven churches. You know, the seven churches that the Bible speaks about. Go ahead.
You know, he's the one who oppressed the church of Israel at first.
Right. Time. Yeah. Time. He, he did a lot. He really did a lot. But yeah, go ahead.
Slovakia.
That's what.
Verse 2.
No. I'm sorry. To observe. My bad.
Verse 1. To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Now, to observe, right? And the word observe just means like observance. To observe is to analyze.
Right.
Just think of the word, observe, to analyze. Like, for example, right? I'll just give you a kind of like a medical, example. If you are a doctor or a nurse, and someone comes in and says that my foot hurts, my leg or arm hurts, my neck hurts, what you have to do as a person who's in that medical profession, you have to observe or analyze what the issue is in order to what? Diagnose or fix the issue.
Right.
Just like if you have a car that is, that's having problems, a mechanic has to analyze and observe what the issue might be. They have to listen out for the sounds, the way that it's moving. You know, like just observe and analyze the whole thing in order to know what's going on. When it comes to law, statutes, commandments, once again, I'm going to keep saying it and saying it so you can get it through your head, right? When it comes to law, statutes, commandments, in order to follow it perfectly, in order to keep it perfectly without fail, you have to observe it.
That's right.
You have to analyze it. You got to get the whole spirit. That's why we have what is called a scripture breakdown. The reason why we call it scripture breakdown is because you get a scripture and you break it all the way down. You are literally dissecting this verse, this chapter, this passage, so you can understand the full meaning and spirit of it. That's why we call it scripture breakdown. If anybody did not know, now you know. Keep going.
So I can to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now also too, right? Now, when it comes to serving the Most High, he's telling you all of these things for a reason. And when you serve the Most High, when you listen to whatever the hell he tells you, if the Most High told you to stand on your goddamn head, stand on your goddamn head. If he told you to stand outside in the cold for hours, just do as he says. Because what you're gonna find out and realize, the Most High gives you a reward. Everything that the Lord tells you to do comes with a reward. The reason why we are in the ISPK, we are putting in this work. The benefit is to get our people to be a nation again.
That's right.
And not just that, to rule this earth again and forever. To be in a place to where we don't have to be in hell anymore. That's the reward. So every time, so for brothers and sisters, right? You being in the ISUPK, and you feel like your zeal is getting weak. You feel like you don't want to come to class. You feel like you just want to be lazy and you don't want to do much. And you feel like, what the hell is the point? And you feel like you just want to pick up that weed again. You want to go back into the world again. Just remember why you came in here in the first place, what the mission is. If you lose focus of what the mission is, you're going to fail the mission.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen. The reason why we are here is we are here to serve the Most High, to get our people back together. That's for sure. We are trying to get to the blessings as we're dealing with the curses. So right now we're dealing with Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. That's where we're living at right now. But we are trying to get back to Deuteronomy, the 27th chapter. And what I mean by that is trying to get back to the blessings. Deuteronomy 27 is the blessings. Deuteronomy 28 is all the curses. That's simple. We are fighting to get back to our righteous reward, which is rulership on this earth. We are trying to flip the switch on Proverbs 29:2 when it says that, when the righteous are in authority, the people what? They rejoice. But that's not happening. It's the other way around.
That's right.
The people are very much mourning. You want to know why? Because we have leaders and people who are in high positions that are tyrants. The word tyrant just simply means that a person who is abusing their authority. That's what that means.
That's right.
All right, let's let me see here. Go to verse 2. And also too, with that being said, you will be above all nations on the face of the earth. That doesn't say equality.
That's right.
This precept speaks very much racism.
That's right.
And I hope you understand. Keep going. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come upon thee.
Right. So if you, let's just go back to the key words. If you hearken, if you're diligent to the voice of the Lord, thy God, if you observe all these commandments, you will not only be high above all nations of the earth, there are more blessings that are going to come your way.
That's right.
Read verse 2 one more time. We are going to speak about the blessings. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And all these.
It's like it. Now, some of the blessings are going to be talked about in chapter 28 as well, just like 27. Go ahead.
The verse 2, and all these blessings shall come upon thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Verse 3, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Now, blessed shalt thou be in the city. What is that talking about? And in the field. Blessed thou shalt be in the city, like where you dwell. All right, your inhabitant. Blessed shalt thou be in the city. Right now, ain't nobody blessed in the city.
That's right.
Do you know all the crimes and all the crime and violence that's happening every day, if not every other day? That's happening in the Twin Cities. Just last night, what is it? I believe 2 or 3 people had got injured by a gunfire in North Minneapolis just last night, or just yesterday, on Emerson. I want to say 30th in Emerson, which is a known place where violence happens, where the block is hot. When they say the block is hot, that means a lot of crime is happening.
That's right.
So blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. In the field, man. That's talking about your crops,
right?
Your food, your produce. All right. You should be blessed in the field, meaning like if you got produce, that's your revenue. That's how you're gonna eat through through the winters. Keep going.
Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of their body.
There you go. What's the fruit of your body?
Our little ones and stuff.
There you go. Keep going. And right now, that's not happening, man.
Right.
How many stories do we got to hear every day or every other day about someone losing a child?
Right.
I mean, like I just saw a story that this woman, right? This woman, I think this woman's mentally ill. She hired a hitman to unalive her 3-year-old child because her new boyfriend said that he don't like kids and they can't be with each other if her son is around. But meanwhile, the child is with the grandmother, not her. Once again, like this place that we live in, man, is utterly wicked. Keep going.
And the fruit of thy ground.
Once again, that produce, man, that food, that I mean, all the things that you grow, your crops, that's going to feed you, feed your family. Keep going.
And the fruit of thy cattle.
Keep once again, thy cattle, huh? Keep going.
The increase of thy kind.
Keep going.
And the flock of thy sheep.
Your animals. Your animals also too are a big part of that farm. You know what I mean? A big good part of that produce, your harvest. All right. Also, too, like for example, anybody that had a good number of animals, cattle, and flocks and things of that sort, they were wealthy people in the Bible.
Right.
Abraham, Job, Solomon, so on and so forth. Keep going.
Verse 5, blessed shall be their basket and their stores.
What is that talking about?
The baskets, I guess the thing, put the food in the basket and you just be blessed, you can eat it anytime you want.
Yeah, I like that. Yep. And then what's the next one? Where it says in thy store.
In that store, the place, that store, like the place you go and get food at.
Well, think more like business.
Business.
Yeah, business. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, kind of. Keep going.
Verse 6. Blessed shalt thou be when thou come in, and blessed shalt thou be when they go out.
Right. It's talking about like travel. You know what I mean? You are journeying. You are walking about. You know what I mean? Blessed be you when you go in and go out of this place and that place. Right now, you have to be on alerts. You have to be on what we call in the UPK shamar. You have to be on shamar because, you have to look behind your back because of all the danger that's happening. Especially if you are in a city that you don't know of. You really got to be on high alerts because something bad can happen to you. That's how it is right now. So it's not much of a blessing right now. It's really a curse. Although we live a righteous life in the ISUPK, and we don't live in fear, you still have to take precautions wherever you go. Like we are on our way to Chicago. I mean, we are like Minnesota always is in Chicago, which is never never an issue anytime that we're down there. But you still got to be wise.
That's right.
You can't be silly and just be in and any and everywhere. You know what I mean? You got to be very wise in how you move in cities and places that you are not from, and even in your own city, you have to be very careful because especially if you know your own city, around this time or in this area, what goes on. And you don't want to be there when that goes on. All right. Keep on.
So like it, sir.
That's what. Actually, I want you to stop right there. Give me. I just want to get one curse real quick. Let me get, give me 15 and that's it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Mm-hmm. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now we read Deuteronomy the 28th, 28 and 1, and we read about a little bit about the blessings, right? And we read about how what would happen if you keep all the commandments, if you hearken, if you is diligent, if you observe all these commandments, there will be a reward. You will be above all nations of the earth. That's what it said, right? Right. Now, the flip side in verse 15, it tells you what will happen if you don't. And what's going to happen if you don't, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. When it says overtake thee, meaning that it's going to consume you versus you consuming it. So imagine you consuming food, right? Consuming food is like eating food.
Right.
The food is eating you.
Right.
So imagine you. Just imagine all the curses that are really overtaking us right now. Now, all the curses that are mentioned in this chapter, this is what's happening to us right now. We are living in the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because we did the opposite of what was commanded of us. That's why we are suffering and are want and need of all things, and we are in utter hell. So with that being said, that's the class. I imagine. Jesus stand. Right. Jump into the security announcements. We got an ISUPK, start at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Mayashua. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the church department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. So the memorial blowing of the trumpets is going to be September 15th, which is really not that far away. I mean, after the fire weekend, we have, pretty much just August. August is going to go by very fast, and then boom, September. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. All right. Now, consider prayers. Point out the down, which means face the east. Repeat after me. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shekah. Yahweh. Malach Waka. Taba'ah. Watazak. Hayah. Aisha. Barakazah. Kawah. Hayah. Bashemayim. Dalana. Come. Call. Yavam.
Go on.
Asalakana.
Nakana.
Kawakina.
Kolwakina.
Asalakana.
Kolwakina.
Kawakina.
Kolwakina.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaana.
Tabaana.
Wanasawan.
Walasaiwan.
Abo.
Abo.
Awashanama.
Samara.
Bayan.
Bayan.
Ra.
Ra.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Naka.
Baka.
Amalakwa.
Parakwa.
Waha'ala.
Wala'ap.
Wata Para.
Papa Para.
La'alam.
Ba'alan.
Aman.
Aman.
In English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Who's out in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
The kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
The will be done.
In earth.
And earth.
As it is in heaven.
And it is in
Give
heaven.
us this day
Give us day.
our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Give us our debt.
As we forgive our debtors.
We forgive our
And lead
debtors.
us not to temptation.
Lead us not into
But
temptation.
deliver us from evil.
But deliver from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
In the power.
And the
And
power.
the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
Amen.
Bless Israel and the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Vashem Yahushua.
Hashem Hashem.
Barakanahu.
Barakana.
Vayasha'al.
Hashem.
Wahabayah.
Bahavayah.
Sapari.
Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'ah.
Rapa'ah.
Magun.
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 Say the name of loved ones once. Everyone repeats the name once. For those on social media, if you have a loved one, say the name in the chat and we will repeat. For those in the room, you may begin.
Desiree Davis.
Desiree Davis.
All UPK.
All of UPK.
All is Israel.
All of Israel. Israelite School UPK.
Israel School UPK.
IS UPK Minnesota.
ISUPK Minnesota.
All of Israel.
All Israel.
All destroyed in Israel.
All destroyed Israel.
All dead in Christ.
All dead in Christ.
May they rise again.
Let them rise again.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shah.
The angels.
The angels.
Generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troops.
The students.
The
The
students.
sisters.
The
The
sisters.
children.
The children.
All of Israel.
All Israel.
Let's see. Vashem Yahushua.
Hashem Hashem.
The water Aman.
The water Amon.
In English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
You're in the name of Yahweh Shah.
Bless us in Yahshua.
Bless us in Yahshua.
In the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Loved ones.
Loved ones.
In the name of Yahweh
In
Shai.
the name of Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth.
and all things living.
And all things live.
Yahweh, in
Yahweh.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now,
Just so it's now.
right now.
Right now.
Send evil to curse,
Send evil curse.
and punishment and destruction
And punish the destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against us,
that speak against us.
like prophets,
That prophet.
the teachers,
That teach.
the princes,
That
the
prison.
priests,
That priest.
the Israelite brothers,
It's like brother
in the school.
and the
Send
school.
evil to curse,
Send evil
and
curse.
punishment and destruction
And punish the destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen.
and shake loose
And say, look,
the treasure of the rich of Israel.
the church west of Israel
They refuse to give to the school,
refused to give this school.
force their riches,
Cross their wrists.
into thy sanctuary.
Into the sanctuary.
Send evil to curse,
Send evil curse.
punishment and destruction
And punish the destruction
to the Edomites,
to the
and
enemy.
the nation,
And to the nation.
and the drug dealers,
And the justice.
the court system,
And the court
the
system.
prison system,
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood,
And Planned
all the
Parenthood.
governments of our enemies,
And the government of our enemy.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
And our synagogue army.
Roman Catholic Church,
And Roman Catholic Church.
the Pope,
And the Pope.
Islam,
And Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Egyptology.
militia,
Melissa.
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation,
And the nation.
skinheads,
Skinhead.
cosmopolitan,
Conflict.
the
Battalion.
gay movement,
The gay
the
movement.
lesbian movement,
The lesbian movement.
spies,
Fire.
works of witchcraft,
Walking on wristband.
master space program,
Got some Facebook.
Army,
Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marine.
Wall Street,
Wall Street.
open up the internet,
Open up the internet.
and the airways,
And the area.
cable access channel,
And cable access
and the
channel.
radio channel,
And radio channel.
convict the spirit
And convict the
of
spirit.
any of thy people
That any of the people
that seek to stop
that seek to stop us.
and bring swift destruction
And bring us to
to all the heathen
to all of
that
you.
stand in the way,
That stand in the way.
that try to stop us,
Or try to stop
from
us.
broadcasting the word,
The broadcasting the word.
throughout the planet Earth,
Launch the planet Earth.
let loose all the plague,
Let us all the plague.
cause to go to and fro,
Cause it to go to and
through
fro.
the earth to consume,
Through the earth and consume.
let the plague shake the house of the thief
Let the plague shut the house of the thief
and the murder,
and the murder.
let Yahweh shine,
Let your house shine.
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael Gabriel
come down to flying
come
sauce,
down with the flying
punish
sauce
all the heathen
and punish all the
that
heat
come up against us,
that come out against
as to
us.
speak thy word,
Speak that word.
cause to be known by all,
Cause it be known by all.
and it's the angels that done it,
That the angels that
cause it spread to the media,
cause it be spread to the media
throughout the whole world,
throughout the whole world.
cause them to shake out that coming,
Cause the shake of their
in
cup.
the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
thank you always,
thank you always.
so be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means turn in Hebrew. Men of Israel, Mashabat, Ahmadu, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Mashabat. Curses, salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Mashabat, Ahmadu, Barak, Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Shema, Latam, Hashem Yahweh Shai. Master Todd, class dismissed.
I know I said